welcome to the Tony Party. It's good to have you back.
Thank you.
Two-time nominee now.
Yes, I know.
Did you think when you heard about chess and this role, the arbiter, right? Mm-hmm. It's like this kind of role that people know, like real musical theater people like know this role.
Yes.
But did you ever think like, oh, this could lead to a moment like this?
No, of course not. I thought this is a glorified narrator. You know, this will be fun to participate, and a nice little princess track, and go back to my kids in Jersey. But yeah, here we are. I think thanks to Danny Strong, he gave me a lot of agency in the room, and the part just sort of grew kind of around me, and now it feels like it's almost just me out there. So no, I didn't expect it at all.
What have you learned from the experience of actually being in that kind of role and leading this audience through this kind of convoluted musical? A lot of people have never really understood why it's a musical, but I feel like you make it make sense.
I've learned that I love it. I love connecting with the audience. I think that looking back on it, that's what I loved about Gentleman's Guide, is that Monty was sort of telling the story to the audience, and I have that feeling again at chess where I'm like, oh, it's me and you. And I'm gonna lead you through this. Like, don't worry, I've got you. And that feels really fulfilling to be able to do that. And as you say, to have an audience of 1,600 people at the Imperial Theater on Broadway laugh at something you said in the rehearsal room and it is now in the Broadway script, that's pretty cool. And I get to do it 8 times a week.
Speaking of the audiences, I know the fans of chess are wild. They love this production. They love this show. I'm one of them. But some of them, they have the stage door, and one thing I've really noticed is they really hype you up. I'm sure they've been telling you since it opened, like, you're going to get a Tony nomination. That's the kind of stuff that actors kind of have to navigate while doing the work, which is kind of interesting.
Well, you learn to translate it as like, I really like what you did, which is great. I'm like, great. From your mouth to Thespis' ears. But of course, people are always enthusiastic. Broadway has incredible fans, and I feel like in this time around, I'm seeing more and more people who are like, I saw you in this, and I saw you in this, and I saw you in this, and having this moment of like, whoa, I've been doing this for a minute, and I'm proud of the breadth of work that I have put out there, and the Arbiter is included in that, but is also in ways a culmination of all that. And so to have fans who say, I saw you in Bloody Bloody, and I saw you as the dentist in Little Shop, and to feel like people are really appreciative of a whole body of work and are able to say things like that to me. I love it. How could I not?
If we were talking to Bryce opening in Bloody Bloody Andrew Jackson, what would blow him away about like what you're currently experiencing and this moment right now?
Bryce opening in Bloody Bloody Andrew Jackson never thought he would do musicals in New York City. I think I went to drama school thinking I'd be doing like Shakespeare and Arthur Miller and other old dead white guys. And he'd be thrilled to learn that the genre that brought him into all this, the cast albums, the sort of distant heroes in New York would become his colleagues, and even like the fan in Bryce who is watched videos on Broadway.com wondering how to get there with those people would be blown away by this moment. And so I'm proud of him and I'm proud of me, and we're the same, I guess.
It's good to see you, man.
Thank you, Paul.
Congratulations.
I appreciate it. Thank you.